Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Today we're analyzing material from a SpeakDuo lesson, one that really focuses on identity and achievement.
And if you want to put these phrases into practice right away, you can head over to SpeakDuo.com.
Yeah, you can connect with people practicing English on video calls. It's a great way to build confidence.
Our focus today is all about impact. We've got 9 high-level idioms, and our goal is to show you why you should choose the idiom over a more, basic alternative.
Exactly. That precision in language is really what separates a proficient speaker from a truly advanced one.
Okay, let's jump right in. The first phrase deals with societal breadth, from all walks of life.
The core definition is pretty simple, right? It's just people from many different backgrounds, jobs, and social classes.
Right. But if that's all it is, why not just say a diverse group?
Well, that's the thing. Choosing from all walks of life over a diverse group gives you this powerful, specific emphasis on socioeconomic status, on professional standing.
So diverse group could just be about age or nationality.
Exactly. This idiom specifically highlights the range of experience and, the societal status within that group. It has that implied hierarchy.
So the suggestion here is to use it when you are intentionally emphasizing that broad spectrum, from the CEO down to the intern.
Precisely. Take a professional example. Our new mentorship program aims to pair senior leaders with interns from all walks of life.
To foster broader organizational understanding, you can really feel how that phrase reinforces the idea of different career levels interacting.
And in a more personal context, say you're asked about your friends. You could elevate your response.
How so?
By saying, I try to have friends from all walks of life to learn new perspectives. You're not just saying your friends are different, you're emphasizing the different social strata they represent.
Okay, that's a great distinction. Let's move to a phrase that involves emotional depth. To put yourself in someone's shoes.
We all know this one. It means to imagine what it's like to be in someone else's situation, to have empathy.
The simpler alternative would be understand their perspective. So what's the loss when we choose that easier path?
The weakness there is that understand their perspective is just, it's purely cognitive. It's detached.
It's just an intellectual understanding of the facts.
Exactly. But to put yourself in their shoes, that idiom requires an imaginative, emotional substitution. You're mentally inhabiting their circumstances.
So our suggestion is to save this one for situations that demand really high empathy.
Right. Well, you need to show profound ethical or emotional consideration.
This feels perfect for a leadership moment. A boss dealing with team stress could say, I know the deadline is tight, but if we truly put ourselves in the client's shoes,
we understand why they need this review immediately. It shifts the whole feeling from annoyance to genuine motive.
And to apply that in a more reflective context, say about conflict.
You could say, no, it is very hard to put myself in their shoes when I am upset.
I usually need time to cool down before I can truly empathize. It shows you're aware of how difficult true emotional empathy can be.
Let's transition to a pair of idioms about social integration. We'll start with to fit in.
Which means being accepted by a group because you are similar to them.
Okay, so we could just say be accepted, but I'm guessing there's a key difference.
There is. The weakness of be accepted is that it's passive. To fit in often means an active, sometimes difficult effort. There's pressure to adjust your identity or behavior to achieve that similarity.
So the pressure is kind of baked into the idiom itself.
It is. So the suggestion is to use to fit in when you're talking about conformity, peer pressure, or that challenging process of integration.
Right. Like in a high-pressure office, you might say, in a highly competitive department, new hires sometimes feel pressured to fit in by mirroring the aggressive sales culture.
Even if it conflicts with their personality.
Perfect. Or when discussing personal philosophy, you can create a really powerful contrast.
Like what?
When discussing personal philosophy, I think it is better to be unique than to try too hard to fit in. It captures that active struggle.
And that leads us perfectly to the desired outcome, to stand out.
Which is being easily noticed or seen as different, but usually in a good way.
So if the goal is just visibility, why can't we just say be noticeable?
I think I know this one. Noticeable can be neutral or even negative, right? You can be noticeable for making a huge mistake.
Exactly. By contrast, to stand out as an idiom almost always implies being distinct in a positive or superior way. It draws favorable attention.
So the suggestion is to use to stand out only when describing exceptional performance or positive distinctiveness.
Right. That proposal really made the CEO notice our department. It allowed us to stand out from the other teams during the quarterly review. It's a value judgment.
And it works perfectly for self-description in, say, a job application context.
My ability to speak 3 languages makes me stand out when applying for international roles. It's an immediate, positive assertion of your advantage.
Let's shift from social dynamics to finality. A short, powerful one. For good.
Meaning forever? Permanently?
So when should a speaker choose for good instead of the more formal permanently?
Well, the weakness of permanently is that formality. It can sound a bit clinical or, official.
I see.
For good is more conversational, and it carries a really strong, emphatic sense of finality, especially in personal stories.
So the choice signals the tone. Our suggestion, then, is to use this in personal narratives or when you're really emphasizing the absolute end of something.
Exactly. You might reflect on an outdated office system. After years of maintenance issues, the archaic fax machine was retired for good during the last technology upgrade.
It feels so final. And for a lifestyle change, it's perfect. Yes, I stopped drinking soda for good last year, and I feel much healthier now. The commitment feels more personal and complete.
Staying on that theme of reality, let's look at to burst one's bubble.
To destroy someone's illusion or false belief about something.
The simple route would just be tell someone the bad news. But that doesn't feel quite right, does it?
Not at all. It feels inadequate.
It is. The weakness is that telling the bad news is just a neutral delivery of information. To burst a bubble is specifically about shattering a misconception, a naive hope.
A comforting fantasy.
Yes, with a harsh dose of reality. So the suggestion is to use this when you want to emphasize that painful, sudden destruction of an illusion.
This is often used in management, right? When expectations and reality don't line up.
Definitely. I hate to burst your bubble, but the latest projections show that budget approval for your new hires is highly unlikely this quarter.
Ouch. Or recalling a difficult moment that actually led to growth?
My teacher burst my bubble when he said my project wasn't practical, but that initial feedback pushed me to refine the concept. The pain led to a better result.
Okay, now let's turn to speed and reaction time with in a split second. Instantly.
A lot of speakers just default to very quickly. But the weakness there is that very quickly is just descriptive. It's a measure of speed.
Whereas in a split second is more like a emphatic hyperbole.
It is. It conveys instantaneous, near-zero reaction time, often involving sudden events or quick decisions under intense pressure.
So you really need a high-stakes scenario to justify using it.
Right. The suggestion is to use it to dramatically emphasize that instant action or reaction. Think about a technical crisis. When the server crashed, the IT team had to decide how to respond in a split second to minimize data loss.
That phrasing captures the urgency perfectly. And for complex decisions, when facing complex ethical problems, sometimes your gut feeling helps you decide in a split second. It adds drama.
We're turning to conformity now with to fit the mold.
To match the standard description or expectations of a certain type of person. Be typical seems to cover it, but I suspect it lacks that context of expectation.
Precisely. The weakness of be typical is that it's just statistical. It's about normalcy. To fit the mold relates specifically to conforming to stereotypes or preconceived notions.
So there's an idealized version of a role being implied.
Exactly. And the idiom often implies a conscious choice to conform, which can even have a slightly negative feel if the situation calls for originality.
So the suggestion is to use to fit the mold when you're challenging or maybe reinforcing specific social or professional stereotypes.
It works brilliantly when advocating for change. We are actively looking for disruptive innovation, so we shouldn't dismiss candidates who don't fit the mold of a traditional sales director.
And on a more personal level, resisting that pressure.
Yes, sometimes I feel I don't fit the mold of what society expects from a young professional, but ultimately I try to be myself.
Okay, our final phrase for this critique covers instant connection. To click with someone.
which means immediately liking and understanding someone, becoming friends quickly.
The simple alternative is get along well immediately. But where does that fall short?
I think get along well is just too general. It describes a state of harmony. To click specifically captures that feeling of instantaneous, spontaneous chemistry.
That mutual rapport, that deep, quick understanding that feels effortless.
Yes, the word itself reflects the intuitive nature of the connection.
So we should use to click when describing an instant, almost magical, natural connection.
Right. A workplace example really shows why that speed matters. I'm relieved the new team lead clicked immediately with the engineering staff. Establishing that rapport is everything for the project.
And discussing working relationships in general. It helps, but sometimes it takes time to click with people at work, especially when the environment is stressful.
And that concludes our detailed analysis of these 9 powerful phrases. Now, let's test that recall.
We'll present the question, repeat the phrase we're testing, and then give you a moment to decide on the best, most nuanced answer.
Quiz Q1. The volunteer event attracted people from all walks of life. What does this mean about the participants?
Option A. They were all in the medical profession.
Option B. They came from many different social classes and professional backgrounds.
Option C. They had all relocated recently to the city. Feel free to pause the critique here if you need to think about the answer.
The answer is option B. People from all walks of life specifically emphasizes those different societal and professional statuses we talked about.
Quiz Q2. The manager couldn't understand her subordinate until she decided to put herself in his shoes. What did she do?
Option A. She requested a detailed analysis of his recent work history.
Option B. She spent time helping him complete his immediate physical tasks.
Option C. She imagined the difficulty of his situation to gain empathy.
Go ahead and pause here if you need a moment.
And the answer is C. To put yourself in his shoes requires that deep emotional substitution, going beyond just intellectual understanding.
Quiz Q3. The teenager desperately wanted to fit in at the new high school. What was his primary goal?
Option A. He wanted to stand out by wearing unique clothing.
Option B. He wanted to be accepted by the group because he was similar to them.
Option C. He was trying to find his true, unique identity.
Think about the difference between this and just passive acceptance.
The answer is option B. To fit in means striving to be accepted by appearing similar, often involving that active effort or pressure.
Quiz Q4. Her groundbreaking research helped her to stand out in the crowded academic field. What happened to her work?
Option A. It was easily noticed and seen as exceptionally different.
Option B. It was physically displayed in a prominent museum.
Option C. It was controversial and received negative attention.
Pause here if you need to reflect on the positive side of this idiom.
The answer is A. To stand out almost always means being noticed or seen as different in a good way, reinforcing that positive distinctiveness.
Quiz Q5. After the company's scandal, the CEO left the corporate world for good. What does this imply about his departure?
Option A. He left quickly but might return soon.
Option B. He left temporarily to focus on private consulting.
Option C. He left permanently and will not return.
Remember the emotional weight this phrase carries compared to permanently.
The answer is C. For good means forever, emphasizing that absolute finality, just like retiring an old system or stopping a bad habit.
Quiz Q6. The advisor had to burst the student's bubble regarding her unrealistic career plan. What was the advisor's action?
Option A. To politely adjust her calendar to meet the student later.
Option B. To destroy her illusion or false belief about the situation.
Option C. To encourage her to dream even bigger, despite the difficulties.
Take a moment to think about why this is more specific than just delivering bad news.
The answer is B. To burst her bubble is to shatter that false belief with reality, focusing on destroying the illusion itself.
Quiz Q7. The stock market plummeted in a split second following the news release. What does this describe?
Option A. The market drop lasted for exactly 2 seconds.
Option B. The event happened instantly, in a very short amount of time.
Option C. The drop was expected and slow-moving.
Consider the dramatic hyperbole this phrase provides over just saying very quickly.
The answer is B. In a split second means instantly, emphasizing that extremely short, near-zero reaction time we talked about.
Quiz Q8. The new politician refused to fit the mold of traditional leadership. What was her strategy?
Option A. She refused to follow any rules of the political process.
Option B. She was determined not to match the expected standards or typical description of a leader.
Option C. She chose to match the public's current expectations exactly.
Feel free to pause and consider the role of stereotypes here.
The answer is B. To fit the mold means to conform to those standard expectations, so refusing to do so implies intentional distinctiveness.
And our last one, Quiz Q9. Despite meeting for the first time, the two partners immediately clicked. What does this mean?
Option A. They agreed to disagree on all major points.
Option B. They quickly found a shared business interest.
Option C. They immediately liked and understood each other, quickly forming a connection.
This is all about that instantaneous chemistry.
The answer is C. To click with someone implies that immediate, intuitive liking and understanding, which is so key for building genuine rapport.
So, we've covered 9 critical, high-level phrases today. From all walks of life, put yourself in one's shoes, fit in, stand out, for good, burst one's bubble, in a split second, fit the mold, and click with someone.
The core takeaway here is that advanced English mastery isn't just about using complex words. It's about choosing your phrases based on the emotional weight, the context, and the specific nuance you want to convey.
We really encourage you to integrate these phrases into your active speaking practice immediately. And as we mentioned, these concepts came directly from a SpeakDuo lesson.
To do just that, visit SpeakDuo.com and try out a Connect and Practice session. Speaking these phrases aloud, using them in real conversation, is really the only way to make them feel automatic and effortless.